Okay, so a lot of people have been doing this, but I'm gonna do it too. This is my reading recommendation. We're all cooped up, so I might as well buy some stuff on your Kindle or on Amazon online stores. So this is what I've read, not recently to a little bit ago. Ones I remember enough to where I can say, yeah, I recommend this, and if I read it right now, I'd still recommend it. And this is just like a few of them. If you want more, I'll give you more. I'm doing like collections, not single comics, because those are probably harder to find online, non-digital. Even I don't like doing a bunch of digital stuff, and I like to get comics instantly. I'm impatient, so coming from someone that's impatient, yeah, I like getting a bunch of digital stuff. Anyways, without further ado, let's go. Starting with the Simpsons comic one, because that's what most of you are subscribed for. By the way, my 100th video will be the next video. The way that it uploaded, so I did my graduation hall and the omnibus overview updated version. Those were drafts on YouTube Studio, so I wasn't getting comments. So if you tried to leave a comment and you couldn't, that's why. I thought it was one of those stupid things that they marketed for kids, but I didn't want it to market for kids because it's not my channel. It wasn't that. It was just it being stupid. So that got replaced at over. It's on top of, I guess you'd say. It's afterwards. It's showing us that they did after me saying what I'm gonna do for my 100th video. So I'm just gonna reiterate. I might do a Simpsons not live, a Simpsons reading thing. That's just people going loud downstairs. Probably what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I might just do I have a Simpsons book that's written by one of the writers. I mean, just read a chapter of that. I think it's just too much to read a whole issue of Simpsons comics for something that's not gonna get any views and it's gonna look stupid because it's gonna look like this. And I'll probably show you it's just gonna take too long to show you the pages, like the spit it out, the pictures. And the book doesn't have any pictures, I'll just do that. Anyways, this is probably my favorite Simpsons comic. If I read this when I was being skeptical about getting any more, I probably would have second guessed myself. That's how good it is, and it still holds up, I'm sure. It's been a while since I've read it, but I liked it the second time I read it just as much as the first time. Now, this is without the sleeve. It has a sleeve. It's just it fell apart because I've read it so many times. That should show you guys how many times. That should show you guys, if anything, how much I've read it. It's pretty worn out too. It's hardcover. That's the one thing I don't like about hardcovers. The binding can fall apart. I noticed I don't have any books I just got recently. Oh, maybe it's because I don't like doing that, because it's going weird like that. I don't know why I just said that. Probably my favorite Batman so far, Batman Hush. As much as I liked this movie, the book, I wasn't like, oh my god, the movie sucks. It's being so disrespectful to the book. And this is another one like Futurama, where I haven't read it in a long time, but I can safely say this is well worth your time. And you can jump right into this one, because that's what I basically did. I read like a few Batman books beforehand, and I wasn't too terribly confused. It's pretty straightforward, and it's not one of those where it's like, to be continued. Well, actually, it does have a sequel, but I've heard the sequel is bad. But I don't think at the end it says, to be continued in this book you have to get, so to pay another $24.99. Wow, $24.99. DC I would expect this to be $19.99. DC is usually really good about their pricing. There's a book that's Black Mirror. It's good. That's another good one I've heard. That's good. I read it so far. It is damn good, but I wanted to read Court of Owls before. Anyways, same size as this as it was. I think it was like $16.99. DC is awesome with their pricing. On the other hand, Marvel is not, but this is well worth every penny. Runaways. Now, I was reading the 4th volume. In the 4th volume, they go back to number 1 because they want to confuse the hell out of everybody and make them read the 2nd series before they read the 1st series, because they like to confuse people. Like, I don't care. You still got your money. And I was reading that fourth volume, and this is when I was first starting out in comics, and I was like, ugh, this is terrible. I don't like it. And I hated it, and it was like, ew, Runaways. I saw it because back in the day, this is when I was first after I'd read it, and I was like actually getting the comics. I wasn't reading the comics then. I read that. It was my first comic I ever read, actually, all the way through. And I wouldn't say it turned me off because I started collecting Simpsons comics, and then when I started collecting Marvel comics, I was at Newbury Comics. This is way back in the day, like I think 2014, 2015. I swear to God, if I get into it, I'm gonna fucking scream. And I'm sorry, I'm trailing off, but who cares? And they had like these little books. I don't have anything to compare it to. No, I do. Like these. Here's the next one. Kramer's the last one, another good one. But like these, and they had like those instead of this, and it was Runaways. They had a bunch, and I played a whole series, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting that. And then they had one for like $5.99 because that was back when Newbury Comics actually had stuff. Yeah, guys, Newbury Comics, my local Newbury Comics actually had these types of collections. They do have like new comics. That's all they have. Just new comics and probably some older collections and some newer collections. And you're shit out of luck. They have like 1,400 Star Wars, but like 5 Spider-Man books, and 4 of them I already have, and one of them I already have a lot of. It's like one of those collections, and I have almost all the issues in it, so why get that? Anyways, this is one of those books that it's a good binge read. If you really get into this series, you could probably finish it all in one sitting. No, it's this thick, and it has 18 issues in it. It is $34.99. And I got it at Newbury Comics. That's their little seal. I hate when they do that because it makes me think that they're overpricing it. I don't know why they do that. I mean, Amazon's guilty of it. They have a Maximum Carnage, one I do not recommend. I have another one I recommend for a different reason. But that Maximum Carnage is awful. It's $45 on Kindle when the Epic Collection, which collects that story and additional stories, is $34.99 as of the last time I thought of it. And the Maximum Carnage, I'll talk about that too, because you might want to get it. If you like 90s, you'll love it. You'll eat it up. It's just not for me. And it's one of those that I wish I had the first edition of, or first printing, because it would be worth more than the printing I have. Because I could sell it. I can't get anything for the version I have. I could maybe get my money back. The Kindle version is $10 for the Epic Collection is $10 Kindle and $24.99. $34. I don't know why I did that. Just do $24.99. No one cared for the extra pennies they save. Ooh. Maybe you have it like that. There's a couple apps where you can save the money, and they get saves to an account or something like that. I guess that makes sense. But $24.99 for Prime. That's the one that comes with the Maximum Carnage story and additional. Yeah, $43 on Amazon for that Maximum Carnage. That's the one I have. It's not the glue. I don't know why it's that expensive. Okay, so segue. This is probably the darkest Spider-Man book out there that I've read, at least. At the very least, it's the darkest that I've read so far. I don't know if it's the actual darkest, but this is like, if you hate that Spider-Man is like too silly sometimes, then read this. If you're an edgy 14-year-old, you'll absolutely enjoy this. But it's not just one of those books that you read as an edgy 14-year-old and then you like it and then nostalgia. I read it like maybe at the most a year ago. Don't know why I almost said 2 years ago. This is just like so damn good. Revitalized Craven's Last Hunt, by the way. This is Craven at his best. This is just a damn good book. And it's pretty cheap too. It's one of their cheaper ones. Yeah, $14.99. This is a good priced book for what they give you. Because usually these are almost $17. Some are $17.99. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like with the Maximum Carnage, they do have an epic collection that collects additional material. I think what it is that it collects like chronologically, like before and after. I guess that's what it does. And they have a couple of favorite ones. One I think doesn't collect this. It collects a lot of his appearances. I don't know if it collects this entire story. It's what I wanted to get, so I don't think it would have. Next up is one I haven't read in a long time, but considering the fact that I asked for the entire series, minus what I had it for Christmas, I'm good at it. I'm just fine. That should show you how much I like this Punisher Max. Now this is obviously it's explicit content. They uncensor everything. It's basically R-rated Punisher at its best. His Punisher at his best. I don't really like his earlier appearance. I like it. His earliest book, like the Circle of Blood. I like the Circle of Blood storyline. This is the epic collection again. 50th time I said that. But the ones after I'm not liking as much. Not bad, but not great. Now this is volume 2, but I don't have volume 1 because volume 1 is actually free on Kindle. So I'd recommend you get on the Kindle. It's free on first issue of every issue is free for everybody, but if you have Prime Reading and or Kindle Unlimited, the first book is free. And I think the second book, I don't have Kindle Unlimited. I have Prime Reading because we have Prime. Preacher. This is also Garth Ennis, who also brought us that Punisher book and the omnibus that I have, which is, I read the first issue of that. That's the Marvel Knights Punisher. That's good. It's good too. So far, I read one issue, so I wasn't gonna bring that guy out. But this is like really good. I read it the first time and I was like, yeah, not that great. And I gave it a second chance, and I'm glad I did because I was hooked. Another one that I almost binge read this. I think I did at the end. I believe I did because I was trying to finish it because I was wanted to. Because with Prime Reading, you're only allowed 10 titles. And a lot of them I just save because I'm an idiot. And that was one I wanted to finish because I wanted to get another book or something. I think that's what it was. Another Spider-Man one, but one that's lighter. Ultimate Spider-Man. This is definitely a good place to start on your Spider-Man because it gives you. It's different. It's different from the main Marvel universe. So you can't read this and then go jump onto Nick Spencer's run, which I also recommend you read. Pretty much every Spider-Man book, except for the Clone Saga, One More Day, Sins Past, Sins Remembered, Dan Slott's run, just Dan Slott's run pretty much, minus the first few volumes. That a lot of the 90s books, the later issues, okay, a lot of them. Spider-Man has not had the best track record for good books. But it's picked up recently, so definitely if you when the comic stores open back up and you're reluctant to get into Spider-Man. Oh, Life Story too. Life Story. I just finished that yesterday. Another one I binge read. So damn good. It was just like, wow. It ages up. It does everything I wanted to see in a book. It ages the characters, keeps Mary Jane and Peter Parker married. Changes the status quo, changes a lot of stuff. It's basically like Ultimate Spider-Man, the way that it changes the history of Spider-Man in ways not too much, but not too little. And it does a good version of the Clone Saga, which is extremely hard to do. So it's Ultimate Spider-Man, it's Ultimate Universe, different universe. I think that's Earth 2 or something like that, if you so please. I don't know what Earth is called. I think it's like 1610. I don't know why I don't just call it Earth 2 or something like that, make it easier, or Earth U for Ultimate. Stupid, but it's better than Earth 1610. And this is the first full year. This was $24.99, I believe. Yep, $24.99. It's worth every penny. And it's bulky for $24.99. First 13 issues of it. This would originally be $34.99, so get it while it's $24.99. It's a very first, so if you want to get into Spider-Man, get into that, because it goes from it tells the origin story in a different way, of course, and he's still bitten by a spider, but a lot of the details are changed as to not do what Amazing Spider-Man the movie did. and just tell his origin story all over again. And this is going on for way too long. I might just do a second cut. I don't know. This is my unfiltered commentary. Deadpool, Daniel Way, better than Jerry, whatever his name is, Dugan's run, by far. Except for Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That one's actually really damn good. This is $34.99, worth every penny. This is what I started out. This is Deadpool I started out on. Well, technically, it was Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, because that was when I got first. But, got the first two for a Christmas present, and probably one of the best Christmas presents I've gotten from outside my family, because this was Deadpool. Like, if you liked from the movie, you'll like this one. It's so faithful to the movie and, of course, Deadpool himself. And then the last good one, Batman the Killing Joke. I mean, what can't be said about this book? This is like a Watchmen of Batman books, and also it's written by Alan Moore, who brought us Watchmen, so for all good reason. It's pretty expensive for this version, and it's different. The colors are different than the original. This is where, spoilers, by the way, Barbara Gordon is shot down by the Joker. One of those, it's like Craven's Last Hunt for Spider-Man. It's an extremely dark Batman book. A lot of Batman books are dark. And the worst ever book I have read recently. If you want to get into so bad it's good, like The Room, no, that's giving it too much credit. If you just want to laugh at a book for all the wrong reasons, Superman Year One, I regret buying this.